Hey guys, it's Fren. Today we're going to be making chicken bread. This bread is not only delicious but also gorgeous looking. When you look at it, it's going to be really hard to make, but then it's actually not at all hard. It's really simple. You just need a dough and then you just shape it, plate it up like you normally plate your hair. So just tag along and it'll be really easy to make it. Also, there's a delicious chicken filling inside which I'll be showing how to make. So let's get on to making it. First, we're going to be making the dough because the dough needs some time to rest. The yeast needs to bloom, so we'll be making the dough first. I've taken 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Into it, I'm going to add in 1.5 teaspoon of instant yeast, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. The salt will vary according to your taste and also the kind of salt. I'm adding in around 3/4 teaspoon. You can add in from 3/4 teaspoon to 1.5 teaspoon. Then mix that all up and add in 1/4 cup of oil and half a cup of milk. If you want, you can additionally add in more milk if it is required. I'll be adding in half a cup of milk. First, I've added 1/4 cup and I'm adding another 1/4 cup now. I'm going to mix that all up. And you need the dough to be really sticky and soft. When the dough is really soft only will the bun become really soft. So the dough should be really soft and the bun should be really soft. Once all the flour and the milk has been incorporated, you need to knead it for another additional 5 minutes. You need to develop more gluten in the dough so that the dough is more bread-like, and that is why you need to knead it for more time. Here I've kneaded the dough really well and I'm just going to make a ball out of it, a big ball. And the dough is done. Now we have to keep it for resting. For that, into the same bowl, I'm just going to pour in some oil and grease it. Just keep the dough. You need to cover the full dough in some oil so that it doesn't stick to the sides of the bowl. And that's done. Now you need to cover it with saran wrap and then keep it for resting for 2 hours. Meanwhile, we can make the chicken filling. For that, into your pan, add in around 2 tablespoons of butter. Let the butter melt. Then into it, add in 1 tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. Saute that for just 10 seconds. And then add in 4 tablespoons of onions chopped. 3 green chilies. They're just cut into small pieces. Then just saute it all well. You don't want the onions to start browning in color, you just want it to get cooked. And once it is cooked, you can add in the flour. I'm taking 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Just add that in and mix it all up. And you should get something lumpy like this. Into it, you have to add in 1 cup of milk. Gradually add in the milk, smoothing out the lumps. So slowly add the milk, just use the back of your spatula and then smoothen out the lumps. I've added in all the milk and I'm just going to use the spatula and bring it to a nice boil. You need to keep mixing so that it doesn't form lumps. At this point, add in some salt, around a teaspoon of pepper powder, 1 tablespoon of capsicum chopped. Along with it, add in around 2 to 4 tablespoons of coriander leaves. Just mix it all up and bring it to a nice boil. And when it starts boiling, the mixture is going to get thickened, and at that time you should add in the chicken. I've taken 1.5 cups of chicken that is just cooked with salt and pepper and then just pinched into tiny pieces like this. Once you mix it up, it should come to a consistency like this. Now off the flame and let it cool. And after 2 hours, this is what your dough should look like. It should rise really well and the dough should become more soft. So just punch it in and deplete the air bubbles right now. Then just put it onto your countertop and knead it for another 2 minutes so that all the air bubbles go. Now again, make that into a nice ball. And then keep that for resting another 30 minutes. This time just keep the bowl on top of the dough and let it rise. And again, after 30 minutes, the dough should have risen really well, just like this. Now just lift off the bowl and do not deplete all the air bubbles. You just have to use your hand and push it towards the sides. So you actually need some air bubbles, but do not need it at all. If you need the dough, then the dough is not going to be as airy and the bread might end up being really hard. So do not need the dough, you just have to get it into shape. Just roll it out flat, a little bit thick, and then it should come to like an oval shape, just like this shape. Then keep in parchment paper on top. Just press the parchment paper down and you have to lift it with the parchment paper. Lift the dough with the parchment paper. Do not do this step at the end. If you do it like that, then the shape of your plated bread is gonna go bad. It's gonna be thicker and the shape is not gonna be as stiff as you want it to be. Then once it's set onto the parchment paper, you just gotta keep the chicken filling. Keep a nice thick amount of chicken filling. That is what is gonna be way tastier. Just onto the middle part like this. And then you can use a pizza cutter or your knife and cut it into thick strips like this. The other sides you have to cut it into thick strips, just like these. I find it always that a pizza cutter works better than a knife. It's way easier. You gotta do the same with the other side. Cut it into thick strips. And then once that's done, you gotta pull one leaf from the right side, the other leaf from the left side, overlap it, continue with the same thing. Take one from the right, then take one from the left, another one from the right, keep it on top, just like that. It's that simple, there's nothing harder. And even if you mess it up a little bit, it's still gonna look really good. You don't want it to be perfect, it's just gonna be a little messed up, but then at the end after baking, it's gonna turn out really good. And when you reach the end, just tie it together so that it doesn't loosen out. And on the top also just cut it into half, like that. Put that onto the chicken and close it. So there, it's that simple to make. The bread is almost ready. All you gotta do is bake it right now. So with the parchment paper, just lift it up and keep it onto your baking pan. Then you have to egg wash it. I'm adding some milk with some egg and just brush it on top of it. Do not brush too much of the egg wash. If you do brush too much of the egg wash, then the platings are not gonna be seen after cooking it. Sprinkle some sesame seeds on top just so it looks better. And now it goes straight into the oven. Keep it into a preheated oven of 150 degrees Celsius for around 40 to 45 minutes. The timing is gonna differ according to your oven. All you gotta do is just check if the top is golden brown like this, and then you can take it out of the pan. There, the chicken bread is totally ready. It's that simple and it's gorgeous looking. I'm just gonna cut it right while it is hot and show you inside. It's really simple and also it's super delicious. The bread is really soft, you can see that. That is because our dough was really soft, our bread became really soft. So that's it for today's recipe. I hope everybody tries it out. It's a super delicious recipe. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching Love Cooking. Bye bye.